My name is James Williams Jr., and this is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Alright, here we go again. I'm getting tired of this shit. I'm getting real fucking tired of this shit. Alright? You know, with all the things going on in the world today, two things that deeply disturb me. One, professor that I knew is about to go through some more major league shit, which is like only the second professor that I knew from the university that is going through this shit. Now, granted, I was never a university student because I went to Piedmont, still trying to go back to Piedmont. But this guy, he watched my first movie, Walter something or another, critiqued it. You know, it was not so much a movie as more like a martial art demonstration where I played the song "How Dare You." I can't remember the artist, but thank you. If I can find the CD or HD thing, the VHS tape, then I'll try to put it up. But there's no guarantee I'll find it. But if I can find the footage, that would be great. But anyway, he critiqued me, you know, and made me want to do better. So, you know, he's a film professor, so thank you for that. And unfortunately, I'm sorry that you're going through the stuff you're going through, and I'm sorry. You know, I have a lot more wiser, smart-ass things to say about it, but, you know, as a friend, you kind of gotta, you kind of gotta choose your words carefully around friends, alright? Then we got Mr. Bellamy, who's going through whatever and however, and this is the thing, you know, everything that I put up here is more than likely gonna come back and bite me in the ass. I'm well aware of that, and I accept it. Everyone who's watching my channel knows that I cuss like a sailor. But that does not make me a bad person. It just means that my mouth is foul, I fire off on all 45 cylinders, and could care two shits about what you think about me. But I'm not walking around with my dork sticking out and slinging it in the wind and shit, you know. And most of the things I stay on here is 99.9. So I try to give you all the truth as best I see it. And now let me make my final point about the bullshit that's going on in my city of Charlottesville. Besides the pipeline thing that's got me worried up in North Dakota, but here in Charlottesville, we have a pipeline thing that's about to go through Nelson County, which is also a pain in the ass because I have relatives there and our ancestral land is there, although it is not in question of the pipeline. But the people who have all the big land and the good land don't want to give up their land for this pipeline, and other people who, of course, it doesn't really cut through their line are for the pipeline. So, of course, you know, when it's not affecting you directly, you're going to be all for it because it's not cutting through your land, it's cutting through their land. And it's the same bullshit that's going on up in North Dakota, only mainstream media is not really covering either one of them, which really fucking sucks that someone like me has to get up here and remind you people what's going on in the world. And now, from a main point, and the whole subject of this video. All of this crap with this motherfucking statue has come to the point where, you know what, someone has to fucking say something. And that someone is gonna be me. This all started with some young black girl who clearly has not been taught history correctly in our city school systems, who does not know that Virginia, unfortunately as it may be, and although all of us people of color want to believe that we fought for our freedoms and that our ancestors didn't fight in the Southern Army, well, I got some good news and some bad news for you. If your ancestors came out of Virginia, they may have betrayed the Southern Army, which is good news because they were trying to escape from slavery. But in the long run and in the end, and I'm sorry to break this down to all of you pro-black people, because I'm not against black people because I'm black, but I'm against people doing dumb shit that has no positive outcome or effect. This young girl started this big piss fit about this motherfucking statue. Alright, cool. Here we go. Somewhere in school, you teachers dropped the fucking ball. Virginia was a southern state. I'm sorry. It was a southern state. It was a fucking Confederate state. And Robert E. Lee, General Lee, whatever the fuck you want to call him, the statue was there before I was born. The park was there before I was born. And technically, you're not supposed to be able to move or touch historical monuments and shit. or historical landmarks. So by law, there is no discussion. You really can't move the statue if you want to go on a legal aspect. It is a historical park. It is next to the historical museum. So legally, if y'all want to go by those loony laws, you can't really touch historical buildings without probable cause. If it's like a danger, like if it's falling or rusting and bending over, the horse is kneeling and he got a sword and he could fall at any day, at any time, then you actually can move him because he is a danger to the community and the people who sleep in the park at night and all the other things. But if it's not a legal danger and it's a historical piece of property, which it is a historical monument, you can't move it. You're not legally allowed to move it by federal and government regulations of law. You people who work in politics and Congress of the city of Charlottesville should probably look into that, because that's actually a proven fact that you can't move historical stuff. If I find an arrowhead tomorrow in my backyard from a Cherokee, a Powhatan, or a Creek, or a Rappahannock, or a Seminole Indian, my home just got declared a historical landmark. If it's a historical landmark, you cannot touch it as a government mandate. What are you teaching our kids in school? I learned that back in the fucking 5th grade when I found out that I was part Cherokee Indian, and you people are fighting over a statue over a man who supported slavery. Okay, that's in the past. That statue is a statue. It's not actually Robert E. Lee, who can no longer bring harm to anyone because he's pushing up fucking daisies. All of this statue shit is just that. It's shit. Some asshole programmed this girl to start a big fucking ruckus, and it has done that. The city had enough racial divide problems with police profiling us. I got picked up for the serial rapist, and I'm never gonna see 6 feet or 250 damn pounds. And y'all want to give us more problems because y'all want to fight to remove a motherfucking statue that's been there since my parents were kids. That statue ain't hurting no damn body. It's right next to the Virginia Historical Museum, a museum in which I played a slave named Peter Fawcett on the corner of a street. And again, it's not hurting anyone. Legally, the Historical Museum can and should have stepped in by now to solve this fucking problem. As a historical landmark across from the Historical Museum of Charlottesville, you would think that they would be up to speed on some shit like this, but apparently they are not. Now let me drop the dime for you. Theoretically, and most definitely, no one black in Virginia has really been proven to support slavery. But what you don't understand in history is that some slave owners were black people too. And a lot of people, who are passing as white or mulatto, hey, a lot of them protected slaves and a lot of them had slaves. You guys really got to start teaching kids the right things in school. You have to bump the curriculum so that we can learn from the past. And that being the case, not too long ago, maybe a year or so back, a tribe of Native Americans, I forgot which tribe it was because I was trying to attend this thing and I missed it, about the Sacagawea statue. I will always be mad about the Sacagawea statue because personally, I don't think Sacagawea should be leaning or kneeling behind or beside any man, and her husband isn't even in the damn statue. So, if anything, they should rebuild the statue, leave it where it is, but rebuild it. Makes that Sacagawea standing proud to be Native American and leading the white man across the country from east to west. But nobody's really making a big fucking stink about that. The tribes came down, they had their discussion, they did the powwow, I missed it all, and they went the fuck on home. Because in the end, there are little bit things that are a wee bit more important than monuments that remind us of the past, but don't affect the future. Not really. It does not matter that Robert E. Lee was the president during the Civil War. It doesn't matter that Robert E. Lee led the thing. And this is like that same bullshit that happened a few months again also with this goddamn Confederate flag. General Lee's flag, by the way. I used to love the Dukes of Hazzard. And granted, I'm old enough to remember Dukes of Hazzard, but not old enough to really solidify my memory because I don't really remember if there were even black people in the Dukes of Hazzard or Cherokee Indian people in the Dukes of Hazzard. And Hazzard County seemed to be surrounded by a whole bunch of southern white guys. But you still watched that show. You still bought the Bo and Luke toys and the General Lee. And if you were black, you still played as Bo and Luke with those toys. And I know because I did it. Daisy didn't have a toy. And I don't think Uncle Jesse had a toy. But Bo and Luke and the General Lee had a toy because I had them and I used to jump the General Lee all the freaking time. And no, the damn doors didn't open. You had to put the Duke boys in through the fucking windows. And we're fighting over fucking a ceramic statue. We got more important things to deal with in this world than a goddamn piece of ceramic that ain't gonna hurt you because he's standing on a fucking horse in a fucking park that's next to the historical fucking museum and you people are a bunch of fucking idiots. I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Habit number 2 and this will be shared on my Facebook because of the simple fact that I can't believe that my city can't spend their time doing more constructive shit than worrying about a fucking statue. It's a fucking statue. A statue. Well, hell, the Statue of Liberty is a statue. Granted, it's the best statue because you can actually go inside it, but it's still a statue. I'm sure a lot of people in the world, except for the French and us Americans, find the Statue of Liberty insulting. The Statue of Liberty was a political point in the world where America knew we pretty much made it. Because we got people giving us a fucking statue to honor us from breaking free of the old country and unfortunately slaying the populace that was already here and inviting more people in. So it's kind of a big old clusterfuck when you think about it politically. But we are now currently in my town fighting over a fucking statue. Look, schools need money. Kids need school supplies. Homeless vets need a place to go. Vets can't afford health insurance. Fucking statue can't pay for that. Moving the statue is going to cost you more money that you could be used on those 4 things that I just mentioned. Homeless shelters are overrun. Battered women's shelters are overrun. And you guys are worried about a fucking statue because some little black girl was programmed by one of her racist ass parents to make a big fucking stank about this goddamn statue. I just hit on shit that's real issues. Veterans being homeless, us being mental and not having nothing to deal with, vets not being able to get jobs although we're put to the front of the line when we make these applications. Homeless people, the overloading of homeless people, not having any money because we can't get jobs. And you guys are fighting over a statue. A statue. That statue can't feed me. That statue can shelter me from rain if I get desperate enough in that park. But I'm joining the homeless people because I got no roof over my head because I can't get a job. And you guys want to fight over a statue. You ain't worried about the people who don't have homes. You ain't worried about the people who can't get a meal. You ain't worried about the people who can't function in the world because they have all these missing elements that you're not fighting for or over. The black populace of black men that don't spend enough time with their kids. You're not fighting over that. But you're fighting over a fucking ceramic statue. Now don't get me wrong. There was a whole bunch of white people fighting to get the statue removed too. But I say it again. All this shit happened because somebody programmed their daughter in a clusterfuck manner to cause a big fucking stank about a statue that can't do anything to anybody. It's not hurting anybody. There's like 6 statues in this town that probably need to be redesigned. The statue across from the Red Roof Inn has Native Americans and Lewis and Clark, and it looked like the white men about to start a goddamn fight. But as a person who's part Native American, I can't do nothing about it. It's a statue. I can take pictures. Hell, I've taken pictures. I haven't climbed up on the statue and took pictures like Grunt would do in Mass Effect. But, the thought has crossed my mind. I haven't took a naked selfie with the statue and pissed on the damn thing. Thoughts cross my mind. But, there are things that are in place that have been in place before most of us have been born. And everybody in Charlottesville, all of a sudden, this 15-year-old black girl decides to have a raw hair up her ass about Robert E. Lee, a man who existed long before she existed, who caused all kinds of fucking chaos and clusterfucks in Virginia and the world for black people and Native American people, and they made a statue of him. So here's my suggestion. Turn Robert E. Lee Park into the Robert E. Lee Park of historical figures. And then you put Sacagawea there, Bruce Lee, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Pocahontas, Kunta Kinte. Who am I missing? Alex Haley, the writer of Kunta Kinte. Martha fucking Stewart. Just put more statues there. Just round the damn thing out. It's a park. It's a statue. It's something that people go and look. There's a fucking cannon in front of the goddamn courthouse. I guess that's going to piss someone off next because somebody's going to figure out how to make the motherfucker shoot. Oh, there's also another redneck riding a horse in front of that same goddamn courthouse on the other side. So that's going to be the next park that this young lady goes to and decides to have a clusterfuck and a raw hair up her ass about another statue of another man who was white, who probably had slaves, who probably caused a big old clusterfuck of problems for people in America. And it's a fucking statue. So I guess if they put a statue of Barbie right there in front of the Robert E. Lee Park, everybody would not be offended at that. Well, I don't like Barbie, so I guess I can walk up to the Barbie statue and get pissed off about the life-size Barbie statue in the fucking park. It is a statue. It is a statue. There are people living, breathing, and dying, hungry, poor people, jobless people. In Charlottesville, the employment rate just looks like it's manageable, but that's because they hire people who only work for 2 weeks. And by the time you take the record, those people have quit and moved on to different jobs. And that kind of levels out the playing field. But those are what we need to fight for. We need to fight for better employment. We need to fight for higher paying jobs. We need to fight for things that affect us directly. Not a fucking statue. You guys are a bunch of jackasses. And I'm sorry for whoever I have offended and whoever I've cussed out in this video. I apologize. But not for what I said. But only for the cussing that I've said. I don't apologize for the rest of that shit because the rest of that shit's 1,000% truth. We got better things to worry about than a damn piece of ceramic of a dude who was by many considered a hero and by many considered a villain. So it's a clusterfuck of nothing. And now we all have to fight to decide, are we going to put this statue in the park? So now we have to be racist and put a statue of a white man in the park. So does that mean the statues of the Native Americans are going to go in the park? We don't even have any statues of black people here. So, what the fuck? You're going to change the park's name? The park didn't do anything to anybody. The park was named after him. And in case you guys forgot, at that Civil War point, Richmond was the White House back then. And on the northern side, the history shows that Philadelphia was where we were running from the shit to fight the Confederates. But I'm pretty sure that the teachers probably forgot to teach you guys that. And to this young lady, I'm not picking on you. What I am saying to you is look at the clusterfuck you done caused. You want to have a cause. You want to have a reason to have a gathering of people to make us all unite. Try saving lives instead of causing this big old clusterfuck that has caused a big problem. I know that this young girl is like 15 years old. This young girl is not at fault, people. It's whatever asshole put that thought in her head. Because I'm pretty sure I was 15 once. Alright? And at 15, there was a comic store. Right down there where Brown's Lock and Key is. Right down there. I had to walk from the projects all the way down Preston Avenue, all the way to this comic store. And sometimes I would come through the downtown mall where they had that fountain that you're not allowed to fish the pennies out that people throw in. And they used to have other things down there that subjectively, I guess, moved. Like the Pizzazz store, they used to have gum that makes people fart and stuff. And I didn't complain about it because there was nothing to complain about. Now, I will say this. When I was a young kid, I tried to ride my bike downtown. I got harassed by cops because you're not supposed to ride your bike on the downtown mall. Now, at that time, I didn't know that there was a big fucking sign right there that says no bicycles, no skateboards of any kind, and your pet must be on a leash. So if you can read the laws, then you can see what you're not supposed to do. I will make a second part of this because clearly I need to continue this instead of making one long run out